One. Here to talk about this new TV show that started called L.A. Brea, L-A-B-R-E-A. Uh, a few friends of mine, they have watched it. A couple co-workers, and they actually like the show. I actually loved the very first episode. It was very cool. It's about this group of family called the Harrisons. Eve, Joss, Gavin, and Izzy. Izzy, Joss, and Eve in the car. Traffic's backed up in Los Angeles. Apparently that's normal fame, they say. And all of a sudden, while they're just in traffic, Eve realizes she's going to be late for a job again because dropping her kids off to school. And Izzy, which has a prosthetic leg, says, "Mom, me and Joss can walk to school. You don't have to take us there anymore. We're teenagers." And all of a sudden, a massive sinkhole opens up underneath of them. A traffic cop, she goes down under. A dog goes down under. A bunch of people start falling down it. Buildings start collapsing. It shows one building, half of it goes down the sinkhole, but the other half stays. Total chaos. People are panicking because it's a sinkhole. Normally, people would panic. Josh sees this little girl keep getting pushed, shoved aside, run over. He runs back, picks her up to get her away from the sinkhole site, and he falls in instead. But the kid's saved by the mother. Izzy tries to stop her mom from falling into the sinkhole, but her mother, Eve, realizes both of them's going to fall over, so she purposely pulls her arm free so she falls into the sinkhole. So Izzy's by herself. She's freaked out. Now, this is where the story gets interesting. There's two parts. First, I'm going to talk about the part in sinkhole. In the sinkhole, everybody wakes up. They pass through this green light. Everybody wakes up. They're alive. Some people are alive. Some people did. And they're at this huge landscape, trees, wildlife, water, plants. It looks awesome how they made that place look. It looks like a rainforest kind of thing. And Eve finds her son Joss. They're reunited, and they start coming across survivors. And people start realizing everybody needs help, so they start helping people. And then Eve and this other guy, he's a doctor, and his daughter Riley, who was beside them in the traffic where the sinkhole collapsed, say, we should gather supplies. They do that, but while they gather supplies, you meet Scott. Scott's like high as a kite. And him and Riley come across this duffel bag in the trunk of a car full of heroin. So they know there was a drug deal going down here before the sinkhole. But the owner of that car, you don't know who that is or if they made it. So they keep that quiet between themselves. Then all of a sudden there's a scuffle between Joss and this female cop. She apparently found a whole box of protein bars and she was storing it behind a branch, like a bush, for herself. And Joss seen her do it. There's a few references to Lost. Even Scott, he say, man, if you guys ever seen Lost, so that was pretty cool how they referenced Lost. And they kind of did it again. For instance, remember on Lost, if you've seen the show, Sawyer always hoard supplies? That female cop's doing it. Jack was a surgeon. This other guy's a surgeon. So that's pretty cool. While they're, talking about how are we alive in a sinkhole, where are we at? Wolves. These huge, massive wolves attack them. They kill one person, and they go to kill Riley, and she tries to get inside of a car that Scott's in, but Scott locks the doors. Leaves her to die, but she crawls underneath just in the nick of time. So the wolf can't get at her. Then all of a sudden, Joss gets bitten by a wolf, and then this guy pulls out a handgun and shoots the wolf that bit Joss. The wolves take off. They drag the guy that they killed, his body away with them to eat. So Eve, I remember seeing an ambulance in the traffic with them. I remember seeing it fall in the sinkhole. So she said, there's an ambulance around here somewhere. And the surgeon guy's like, okay, we find that, we save your son. So him and her go off in this rainforest kind of place, I guess I'm going to call it, looking for the ambulance, while he asks his daughter Riley to stay behind and take care of Joss. that's bleeding very bad on his side from the bite marks from the wolf. And he says, well, you took medical school to become a doctor. You got this. And she says, Dad, I dropped out of medical school for unknown reason. You don't know yet what that reason was. Well, they're out looking for the ambulance and come across the guy that saved Josh's life with a handgun. And he's about to kill himself. And they stop him. And he says, I'm sorry, I'm just constantly in pain. I don't know what that was about. But he remembers seeing the ambulance, because when he woke up, he remembers seeing it when he was walking through trees. So they go for the trees, come across this clearing, there's the ambulance. They go inside to get the medical supplies, what they need, and they're attacked by a saber-toothed tiger. And that's how their story ends. But Eve also realizes that they're still in Los Angeles, because if you look off the distance, you can see the Hollywood Hills. But the Hollywood sign's not there, but that's the Hollywood Hills. And then you look and they see other landmark that's famous for Los Angeles. So like, how are we still in Los Angeles and there's no buildings in that? Then you go to the other part of the story, which is about the survivors on top of the sinkhole. Gavin, you meet Gavin, the father of the parent, Harrisons. He was a former Air Force pilot, apparently, that suffered a major crash in the desert 2 years ago, and he's been having visions lately, seeing things that are not there. So he's been medically discharged. People think he's a loony. He's been gone to become an alcoholic. He's drinking a lot because even he's starting to think the stuff he's seeing ain't real. And people, make fun of him in that. So, of course, the Air Force base denies him be able to fly again because of that. He gets a call from his daughter about the sinkhole. He sees it on the news reports. He rushes there. They're reunited. And his shrink or doctor, I guess, is there too. But here's the cool part. A bunch of these huge birds come out of the sinkhole. And these scientists, the military, get one afterwards. And this bird's been extinct for thousands of years. All of a sudden, they're alive. And one scientist says, they put a drone in the sinkhole, right? And the scientist says, that's the same green light we've seen somewhere else. Where did they see that green light before? See? The drone disappears in the sinkhole, by the way. They lose the visual. Gavin realizes that the birds he saw, one of them was the image he saw of the bird in the desert. That exact same species of bird. So how is that possible, folks? See? So he starts putting two to two together, and all of a sudden he starts getting visions that hurt him. I've seen his wife, Eve, and his son Josh down there in the sinkhole in this landscape area. And he says, oh my God, my family's alive. Of course, he tries to tell the military and the scientists what he can see. They just, scoff him off, say, yeah, whatever, buddy. Go get a drink. Then he sees the vision of the drone that crash lands in the landscape. And he sees the number of the drone. So he reads the number of the drone. And the scientist is like, take it back for a second. And says, how the frig do you know that? And he's like, because I can see what's going on down there. And like, yeah, whatever. But then secretly they say, we got to put tabs on him. Well, anyways, Izzy's worried about her father's going to start drinking again and that. And because of these visions. And he finally convinces his daughter and this other doctor, I guess, which is apparently also related to them somehow. They didn't explain that part yet. That what he's seeing is real. It's always been real. Because he sees out a vision of his wife going by a rock with a handprint on it. They find that rock with the exact same handprint in a park somewheres. He said, me and your mom took this together on a trip we took. Sightseeing. And he's looking around, and he comes across his wife's wedding ring that's on a necklace. Which at the same time, down the sinkhole, when she walks by the rock, she drops and loses that necklace and wedding ring. So how the hell did she lose that in the sinkhole, folks? And that'd be buried in the dirt up above the sinkhole. There you have it, folks. This is going to be a good show full of mystery. I think that the sinkhole down below that landscape there is Los Angeles. Back in like the caveman days, back before this technology and back before people started building buildings, that's the landscape of what Los Angeles used to look like. And now up above is the newer era of Los Angeles. I don't know. That could be. I'm just guessing that. But it's pretty interesting. I'm going to watch it. And they show the previews for next week. And they show, like, the saber-tooth tiger attacking those free people and stuff like that. So, there you have it, folks. I'm definitely going to be back next week with episode 2 recap. Let you know what happened. I'll comment below if you watch this show. If you're going to give it a try. What you think of it so far. Stay safe, everybody. Too sweet. Bye.